Well, the new school year has started. But it's also that time of the year. The time of the year when all the books come out. No, seriously though, like August to like December is nuts. I get the fangirlies just thinking about it. Is this what people mean when they say not having a life? Okay, first of all, if you haven't read the I Am Number 4 series, I don't know what you're doing with your life. Say what you want about the movie, I actually really liked it, but the book series by Pittacus lore is a whole other story. Literally. Seriously, such a good series. Although some people stopped reading after I Am Number 4, and I can kind of get it. Because if you're not into the whole 20% aliens, 80% kissy faces thing, then yeah, I Am Number 4. But I promise the series gets so much crazier as it goes on. It doesn't happen very often, but I feel like I Am Number 4 was just the worst of the series. I mean, thus far. And not saying it's bad, I'm just saying as far as like plot goes and like character growth and excitement, I Am Number 4 is like, and then everything else is like, yeah! Like, I love The Power of 6, and I loved The Rise of 9. Seriously, I've just been pumped full of adrenaline all day. I mean, after finishing it, I just wanted to fight everyone. Like, seriously, get me some nunchucks, let the fun begin. You know what I mean? You know when you read a book that's really exciting and you just want to like be a part of that world so bad, but not really because it's really dangerous and you're a wimp and you'd probably die, but there's a part of you that really wants to just get in there and like save the world. Maybe that's just me. Anyway, summarizing Rise of 9 is basically the same way I would summarize The Power of 6 or I Am Number 4. There are 9 aliens that came to Earth because their planet was destroyed by the Mogadorians, who follow them to Earth and want to destroy them. Yeah. I got this basically as frank as I can put it. I can say this for sure, The Rise of 9 is, so far in the series, my favorite book. It was so good. Like, seriously, I was just so into it the entire time. You know what? That's tough. It's really hard to write a book that interests the reader the entire time. Because usually there are those parts where you have to kind of take a pause and like take a breather, sit the reader down and kind of catch them up on things they might not know about. Oh, by the way, reader, here's the background of this character. In full detail. This lasts about 3 chapters. And you know, some people really like that. I actually like it in certain books. You know, it's helpful for the plot and for the character development and all that good stuff. But for these kind of books, it's like, why? It's the equivalent of a roller coaster going really fast for a long time and then just kind of like, don't worry, we'll fall eventually. Just give it time. Lots of time. So The Rise of 9 didn't really do that. There were really no pauses. And I'm glad there weren't, because it would have felt awkward. It was just so great. And I love number 9. I love him. I mean, isn't it kind of relieving to have a character in there that says all the things that you wish you could say? Like, have you ever had a character in a book series that's in there and saying, you guys, hello, this and this, and you're like, that's exactly what I've been trying to tell them, except they're fictional and I'm not, and I can't say anything, because that's physically impossible. That's why I loved 9 so much. Because 4 sometimes lets his loyalties get in the way, and not in a good way. And 6 sometimes is a little bit rough around the edges, and that is putting it very nicely. And I liked that 9 kind of came in and was like, alright, listen up, especially to John. Excuse you. Hi, we're being chased by a race of aliens that killed our entire race and wants to kill us, so maybe we can reflect on this later and run for our lives? Fall right into their trap. That sounds like, an awful idea, John. But, you know, A+ for participation. Like, it was just, seriously, I love 9. I was really sad to see Creighton go. I mean, seriously, why does everyone die? But I really liked the way the new characters worked together. It didn't feel awkward. It didn't feel like forced chemistry. This wasn't a Dylan and Maximum Ride type of situation. Like, they fit. It made sense. I loved Marina, and I loved Ella, and I loved 9, and just, 6, all of them together, and it really, really worked. And I knew Sarah was still cool. I knew that was just way too much of a character leap in the last book. When she was like a traitor and everybody hated her, I was like, I feel like something is happening. Something that we can't see. Because it's not really like Sarah to just be like, oh yeah, you know what? All that stuff that happened in book 1, screw it. That's not her character. So I still ship Sarah and John to the end of time. Well, kind of. I'm actually not really that into shipping in these books. Like, that's just like, it's like the least of my concerns, really. But anyway, yeah, I was happy to hear about Sarah. I mean, not that she'd been like tortured into submission, but like, just really happy to hear that she hadn't like just fully betrayed John and kind of forgot everything that happened in the first book. Because that would have been kind of weird. And almost like a forced plot line, like it wasn't natural, but they would have just made it happen just so other things could happen, you know what I mean? Anyways, let's break this down. Plot was fantastic, exciting, and it was well thought out. It wasn't choppy, everything was just great. It just moved along smoothly. And it was so exciting and awesome. Character development. Perfect. See, that's great because my biggest issue with John in the first and a little bit of the second book is I feel like he never changes. And you know what? I feel like a lot of people ask too much of character development. I'm not asking John to be a completely different person because realistically that doesn't happen. I mean, some people make drastic changes in short time, but most people, we don't change entirely. We just like have changes of heart and things here and there. So it was really cool to see John have changes of heart, changes of mind, to kind of change his perspective on things. And I feel like 9 really helped with that, which is why, again, I loved him so much as a character. He just really complimented everyone. Like, he was such a necessary character. He wasn't just like hanging around. Also, number 8, he's interesting. Not in a bad way, but I just don't know what to make of him. Like, he's cool, but I'm like, what are you doing with your life? Obviously, that's not a point of criticism or anything. It's just like a personal thought. Every time he'd say something, I was just like, I know that you're a true, sincere part of the story, but I have to ask, where did you come from? Like, you know how everyone else came out of like caves and stuff, and he's like this god person? It was just like, I guess I just wasn't used to it, so I was like, hi, 8. What's up with you? I think I'll like him a whole lot more in the next book. Obviously, the pacing was great. I think these books get better and better. It makes me sad that they kind of just, like, tossed the movie because, honestly, I thought I Am Number 4 was a good movie, but The Power of 6 and The Rise of 9 would have made so much better films. Really, they really, really would have been something amazing if they had been done correctly. Same actors, even the same screenwriter would have been fine. These books, I feel, are just so much more in a movie format than I Am Number 4 was. So I hope they reconsider that. I mean, I doubt it, but it'd be really, really great. And seriously, those of you who, like, haven't read the books because you didn't like the movie or just read I Am Number 4, you need to keep reading. These books get so much better. Oh my gosh, I loved The Rise of 9, and I'm so excited to see what happens next because so much has been set up. Like, I can't figure out what's going on, and that's really exciting because usually books that are purely action, their downside is really that they're kind of predictable, kind of like action movies. Like, yeah, there was fire and pretty colors and people were fighting and robots, but not exactly the best plot depth. You know what I mean? But these books are great because they're exciting and they're mysterious and they're well written and you're like, what's gonna happen next? I like being surprised. If you can surprise me, bravo. I feel like I've read so many books from the same genre that I've started to, like, you know, pick up on the formulas and little tricks authors use. And I don't mean that like in a cocky way, I just mean like, you know, if you read the same genre a lot, you kind of start to pick up on stuff. But no, these books are doing a really good job of kind of keeping me in the dark when I need to be and then like letting me in on what's going on at the opportune time. So yeah, another thing that's great is timing. Like, everything just fits perfectly and it's just such a good book. So read it, read it, read it, read it. And then going back to school won't suck near as much. Well, probably still will, but this will help a little bit. So subscribe, comment, thumbs up if you are anti-Mog, thumbs down if you are pro-Mog. That wasn't very creative of me. Go sit in the box of shame.